Hi guys, welcome to the orientation of finance and investments at Shri College of Commerce. I am Devashish Miglani. I am currently serving as a president of FIC. Before we begin with how our cell works and the stuff, let me just say I hope you all are safe and healthy. These are difficult times and I feel bad that you can't experience the buzz of college life in person, but we'll make sure that you get most of it with us. The essence of FIC is lively interaction. The best way that we believe is to learn with friends and from the experiences. Regardless of whether the next few months are on campus or how we have to proceed virtually, the FIC experience shall be enriching. We will do our very best to ensure that you guys don't feel you have missed out on anything. I know you guys will be attending numerous orientations over the next 3 days. And one line that everyone will say is, "We aren't a family, we aren't a society, we are a family." It is quite cheesy and I am not going to say it, but I will obviously tell you that we are a very close-knit society, that we are great friends and we all believe in learning from each other and from learning from our experiences. Speaking as a senior and not as FIC president, I have to tell you that my most fun memories in first year were with my friends from FIC. Whether it were during fest, Finergy or Episteme, during research sessions, competitions, discussions, writing articles, those fiery debates about our political opinions, handling social media accounts. Sometimes I really wonder how did we manage it in 1 year. Despite the rough start, I hope this year is equally fun and brilliant for you all. And at FIC, trust me, we will make sure that it is. Let me now introduce you to Tarini, Vice President of FIC. Tarini, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Tarini and I'm Vice President here at FIC. We are all really excited that you guys are here finally after such a rocky year. I hope everyone is nicely settling into college, and even though you might be bummed because it's online, don't worry, we're going to have lots of fun. So today we will tell you all about what FIC is, what is it that we do, how we work, and it won't take too long. And towards the end, we will also explain how the application process is going to work out. And judging by the number of people attending the meeting today, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm in you guys, and thanks a lot for joining us today. If you have any doubts, don't worry, we'll address them all towards the end. And what we're going to do is first we'll play a short video introducing you to FIC, and then we have a pretty comprehensive presentation about ourselves prepared for you guys. And with that, let's just give you a glimpse of what FIC is through an introductory video.
Fantastic experience. Really glad to be a part of the finals. It was a very comfortable experience.
So we're from FIC GGSCC. So the event was pretty good. Loved the enthusiasm, loved the atmosphere and everything else.
Like out of all the FICs around here,
yeah, one of the best you can say in comparison to us.
And we love the campus, of course.
Something that you regret about being in FIC over the past few years that you spent of not having spent 2 years?
Team FIC for instilling a deep-rooted love of finance within me.
This fellowship was a wonderful experience.
The last days have been doing everything for me.
The best part that I liked about it was the emphasis on peer learning and how approachable each mentor
GitHub would be a very, very useful contribution to the finance scene in the country.
दिल्ली श्री राम कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स के फाइनेंस एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट सेल द्वारा गत शुक्रवार को फिनर्जी 2020 वेबिनार का आयोजन किया गया।
All right, so my mind is actually now rushing with all the memories of this 1 year and the ones you're about to make. Yeah, so let's just dive into what the Finance and Investment Cell does in detail. And Abhijay, who is the research head at FIC, will be telling you more about it. And that's it from my side. Over to you, Abhijay.
Thank you so much, Tarini. Hello, everyone. I am Abhijay. And let me give you guys a rundown about the Financial Investment Cell. What do we do here? And what do we have planned for you? The next slide, please. So this is our group photo. This is the entire team of FIC that we had for the entire past year. A bit about the brief as to what the FIC history is and the origin is. Can we have the next slide, please? The Financial Investment Cell was founded in 2009, and since then, it's grown rapidly to become one of Shri Ram's best research societies. The vision of our society is to share knowledge and to create a place where students can come together and learn beyond the classroom. See, the idea is that we learn best when we learn together. And we learn from a whole host of experiences and not just in a classroom type setting. Can we have the next slide as well? We conduct a plethora of activities here, but the hallmark of the Finance and the Investment Cell is actually our research sessions. These are conducted on a wide range of topics, usually 1 hour long, and we would have a healthy amount of discussion. Basically, what we do is that seniors would introduce and explain different topics in a brief manner, and then we would have a discussion on the subject, making sure that everyone is involved and everyone understands concepts. Last year, there were over 12 to 13 research sessions that we had on basically everything that was there to cover. We had the European debt crisis, the political compass, options, fixed deposits, even geopolitical topics such as the US presidential system to the Indian rural economy. It was really fun and enriching. We plan to conduct many such sessions for you guys as well. The next slide, please. Next, we regularly roll out research reports, newsletters, and articles. We maintain an online blog on ficsrcc.com, and all of you will get a chance to publish articles on these blogs. Currently, the blog has over 120 articles in 7 different categories. Research papers, newsletters, reports that we work on are also uploaded on these websites. We currently have annual and semi-annual newsletters on mergers and acquisitions, geopolitics, fintech, and industry-specific outlooks as well. Everyone in the Finance and Investment Cell team gets a chance to work on at least one of these newsletters as well. However, our biggest publication remains to be the annual journal that we release every single year, Vita, which we'll talk about in a bit of detail. In addition, we have our social media handles on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We post news posts there, quizzes, topical explanation, different infographic campaigns, and conceptual videos. There is so much financial, geopolitical, and economic content that we prepare, that we process, and naturally there's so much to learn. So to summarize this bit about information and publication, we have the annual journal, the website blog, newsletters, research reports, research papers, and the social media handles. One thing that I had to stress on that is that every year, so sorry. Uh, One thing I like to stress on is that every year the finance and investment cell of first years also ideate on different new publications as well. So there is a lot of scope for each of you to contribute something new. At the same time, you guys can also control the nature of the content that you want to publish in the already existing publication. Because research at FIC, that's how it differs. We give you complete freedom and flexibility to explore topics that you want and learn as much as you want. The Finance and Investment Cell also organizes visits. We have been to the World Bank headquarters in Delhi thrice. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that the condition is well enough so that we can get to go somewhere cool in the following months as well. Apart from that, we also organize corporate sessions for first years on campus. The main focus of these corporate sessions is on career counseling. We've had someone from the HDFC mutual funds last year, and this year we organize sessions with a few high-level investment bankers as well. We hope to bring in a few people from leading companies this year as you guys join us. The best sessions, though, are the speaker sessions that we've organized. These are quite specific on current issues, and we organize, well, webinars, and eminent personalities join us and share their thoughts. We have had Mr. Suresh Prabhu, we have had Mr. R.S. Suri, who is the CEO of Amul, join us earlier this year. Now, another way we promote knowledge in the finance and investment cell, if that wasn't enough, is through our competitions. Intra-FIC competitions that are organized for first year members all year round. We have a whole host of different enriching competitions planned for you guys. These are both individual and group-based competitions, and they involve, well, preparation of stock reports, researching on the disruption in various industries, different case studies, rapid fire quizzes, and so on and so forth. You can either participate in such competitions for FIC members, or you can, put yourself across the aisle and you can become someone who organizes these events. In addition to this, all members are also given individual research tasks as well. So there is both individual research and peer learning as well. So there is no standard, but we plan on at least having 4 to 5 such research tasks this year. I could keep going and keep going, but I'll wrap this up with one very brilliant thing that we have at the Finance and Investment Cell, one more brilliant thing that we have at the Finance and Investment Cell, the industry preparation sessions. These are 2-3 exclusively conducted sessions for only FIC first year members by members of the Finance and Investment Cell cabinet who have been placed to the placement cell's internship placement process. These happen through the end of your first year and will involve sharing some helpful inputs about the placement process, how the GD works, how the PI works, what are the factors, the pointers in your CV that companies look at, and so on and so forth. Can we have the next slide, please? Now, a bit about the fest and events that we organize at the university level. Every year, we organize 2 of them. The Research Festival Finergy and the Annual Fest FEC. First, Finergy. Finergy has 2 competitions. One of them, Envision, which is the research paper competition, and Kasla, which is a business case study competition. We have participation from hundreds of colleges, and that's why the preliminary round is always online. And after 2-3 rounds, the top 5 to 10 finalists present their cases or their research papers in front of eminent judges. Usually, there are over 1,000 participants in the preliminary round. From Kasla, the final case studies this year, we coordinated and we worked along with IIM Ahmedabad. Normally, we have also had the opportunity to work with Harvard Business Reviews on these case studies for Kasla as well. A few months ago, we managed to conduct Finergy 2020 entirely online. And despite the pandemic, there was enthusiastic participation from many colleges from all over the country. Can we have the next slide, please? This year, our chief guest at Finergy was Renu Karnad, the managing director of HDFC Limited. The prizes for winners of Finergy this year were, along with the usual stuff, offers of investment banking internships. So, along with the certificates and the accolades that you win, you actually get the opportunity to work and get that work experience early on. Can we have the next slide as well? We also conducted pretty informative sessions with the Center for Civil Society under Finergy. So yes, it is a research festival conducted at a very large scale. I'm so sorry, my computer is acting up a bit. Yes. So basically, it's a research festival that's conducted at a very, very large level. And Finergy has been happening for nearly a decade. But it's not our biggest festival. Our biggest, largest annual event is Episteam. But you know what? Let me pass the dais to Vidya, because she had a lot of fun last year. And Vidya, could you please let us and let the juniors know how much fun is Episteam?
Hi guys, so I'm Vidya and I'm the Public Relations and Marketing Head at FIC. So as Abhijay said, I'll begin with talking about Episteam, which was the most memorable part of the year for me. So it's our most important and the most rigorous event. It's our annual event, that's Episteam. And this fest has around 7 to 8 different events that are organized over 2 to 3 days, covering everything from gambling to core finance to macroeconomic policy formulation. It's an amazing experience. And this year we witnessed over 5,000 participants. So I'll actually give you a run through about all the events that are here on the PPT. So the first one would be PoliCypher. As the name suggests, it's a policy-based competition wherein participants had to handle tough fictional macroeconomic situations. Then there's Casino Mania, which was the event where participants combined their gambling skills and financial knowledge to ace the rounds. Then there's SRFL, which is a finance-based event for school students. Then there's Consortium, which is a risk management and auction-based event, and B Matrix, which was a business plan event. And there's Menace of Metropolis and Bet or Debt, which are our flagship events. And you would have seen a lot of videos in the video we played at the beginning of the orientation. You would have seen a lot of videos where we were shouting out names and where participants were holding up placards. So both of them are completely energy-filled, exciting events that you will get to organize. So the best part about Episteam is that every year, other than the flagship events of Bet or Debt, there are 5 to 6 different new events which you guys will be designing. You guys will be building them from scratch. You will get to make your own rules in a team. So while clearly we won't be able to proceed with Episteam as early as January, like every year, it's definitely going to happen in one form or the other. And we're going to make sure it's just as fun as before and just as tiring. But you forget to be tired when you're enjoying so much fun. And I can guarantee you that's going to be the case. And if I can let you in on an insider secret, there's a huge Episteam after party that's sponsored by the cabinet, but we'll talk about that much later. So also earlier this year, we had the FIC Research Fellowship. We conducted a fortnight-long series of research sessions for senior school students. We covered introductory concepts of finance and markets and had a bunch of interactive activities as well. I think some of you here may have actually been a part of the fellowship, at least I hope so. Anyway, so that is one of the things we started this year and we're going to continue doing each year. So if you stick around, you get to teach 10th to 12th graders some basic financial concepts, and this process is really fun. We also conducted Finercia, which was an online case study competition this year, and it garnered over 2,000 participants. So the next slide. Yeah, so here's a glimpse of what our speaker sessions were like. It's a pretty distinguished group, as you can see. All of these sessions are conducted under what we call the Shriram Financial Forum, or SRFF. We're in touch with a lot of speakers that come and speak to you guys as well in the coming months. You get to learn a lot from these sessions because they are people with a long list of diverse experiences. And the best part about these sessions is that there's almost always a question and answer session at the end. So you can actually ask questions to eminent personalities, and here are their responses on them. Interacting with them is a privilege, and we hope to have a lot of such interactions in the coming months. So moving on to Vitta, which is our annual finance journal, I'll ask Parth, who is the editor-in-chief at FIC, to talk about it in detail.
Hello, everyone. I will tell you about Vitta in just a minute. I think a lot of people want us to go live on YouTube, so just give us a minute. We're trying to figure that out, and we'll resume after that. Okay, that's been sorted out. This orientation would ideally have happened in room 1 or 2, but I guess this is what we have to deal with. So yeah. So I'm Parth, I'm editor-in-chief at FIC, and let me just say that my job isn't as boring as it sounds because we have wonderful publications like Vitta at FIC. So Vitta is our annual journal, and like any other characteristic annual journal, it is, it's characterized by a traditional mix. It's got both the new and the old. It's got opinion editorials, it's got articles, it's got infographics in different sections. You know, we like to call Vitta our food for thought in a lavish 7-course meal, where the 7 courses are usually 7 different sections that we have in Vitta. So, I mean, it's everything. It's got abstract theorizations, it's got policy takes, it's got critiques of current affairs, breakdowns of current issues. It's basically an attempt to curate the best content of the best content that we've produced in that 1 year. So it's a year in review of FIC. And you can find Vitta at the library. It's got a massive reach. It's reputed all across Delhi University and beyond. And it's obviously available on our website as well. And Vitta is very special because it's got a demonstrated history now. It's been in publication for quite a few years. And that is why every year we try and do something new in Vitta. You know, like last year in Vitta, we cut out a few articles and decided that we'd have 2 research papers instead. This year we had to design Vitta entirely online, you know, compile it, design it, write all the articles because we were scattered across different parts of the country. And it was all done online, and we had a section that was dedicated to, you know, exploring the economic after effects of the lockdowns, the lasting consequences of this coronavirus. And for the first time, we also had one section that had, you know, inputs and columns from industry experts and professors. So that was something different that we did. And Vitta is, you know, usually 150 pages long. It has like 40, 45 articles. And it's a lot of fun to design it, to write it, to compile it, because you get to learn a lot just by researching so specifically on one particular issue and learning how to articulate that research. And this year's Vitta was particularly special because this year we celebrated 10 years of FIC. And this year's Vitta was also launched by none other than Mr. Narayan Murthy, who's obviously one of our oldest and most reputed business leaders, the chairman emeritus and founder of Infosys. So that was something that was very nice. Next slide. Yeah, and here's presenting Fic Connect, which is our own, mobile app, which has been around for around 2.5 years now. And it's regularly updated. You can get it on the Play Store, as you'll see in the next slide. And it's got everything about FIC. It's got the website blog. It's got all our publications, newsletters, research reports. It's got Vitta. And it also has latest information about FIC as well. And, you know, it's quite cool because we were actually the first society in the entire university to actually come up with our own smartphone app. You know what? We were also the first society to come up with our own website before that. So it's not just a bragging point, guys. It's actually regularly updated and used as well. The next slide. So these are a few of the collaborations that we had last year. We have more proposals this year as well, and it's a great boost to financial education and the sort of knowledge sharing that we intend to do. Because these are wonderful learning experiences, just because of their nature. There's so much exposure, like the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, ICICI Securities, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and so on. So we hope to have a lot more of such interactions and collaborations in the coming months. Next slide. Well, before wrapping up, let me just tell you a bit about how FIC is beneficial for you as a team member. Of course, there's lots of awesome knowledge enhancing work. You get to improve your speaking and writing skills. There's no doubt about that. You get to research specifically. You get to learn what focused research is like, and you learn how to articulate that research, more importantly. But apart from that, you obviously learn what it's like to work in a team, not just with like-minded people, because you'll find that SRCC is actually a center for diversity of thought. So you get exposed to different sorts of work and people in this society as well, because you can do sponsorship, you can do research, you can help with organizing events, and you can learn through debate, you can have lively discussions. We like to keep the FIC experience best suited to your tastes and preferences. And personally, speaking as a former first-year member, I found that to be the best part of FIC, that you can do exactly the sort of work that you wish to do. I mean, if you're a complete introvert, you absolutely hate talking to people, you can focus entirely on content creation and research and stuff like that. Whereas if you're the complete opposite of that, I mean, you love interactions, you want to talk to sponsors, you want to focus on getting speakers, sure, go ahead. I mean, there's wonderful opportunity for that as well. And if you're somewhere in the middle, I mean, that's perfect too. So, that is the sort of spirit of FIC that we try to maintain, that as long as you do your bit of learning, thinking, and working, it doesn't matter how you are learning, working, or thinking. And if that appeals to you, FIC is the right place for you. So, and next slide, sure. So now a bit about the application process. I mean, it's very simple. The application forms will be released in a few minutes now. And these are evaluative forms, which means that they do hold a weightage in your application, but there's nothing challenging in them. Just make sure you fill them up a bit seriously, because you will be called for the interview based on your application form. But as soon as you open the form, you will figure out that it is very simple, very basic, nothing too challenging in it. And about the interview, we try and keep the interview completely conversational. So there's absolutely no reason to be worried about it. And basically, the only advice we can give you is that fill the form a bit sincerely and be yourself in the interview. That's all. And we did go through the queries that a lot of you had put in the registration link for the orientation. And, this question kept cropping up, and that was, how should I prepare for the interview? There's absolutely no need to prepare for this kind of interview. All we need is a demonstration that you want to learn. I mean, all of us here just want to learn. So there's nothing special you have to do. There's no reason to be worried at all. And displayed on the screen are the ways you can contact us. If you want to get in touch, you can feel free to approach us. Please don't hesitate at all. But right now, Rishabh, who's secretary at the Finance and Investment Cell, and me, will stay on here, and we'll open the chat up to you guys. So you can enter any doubts you have, type them out on the chat, and we'll try and go through them one by one and address them. If you don't have any doubts, please feel free to leave. For those of you who want to ask doubts, the chat is open now, I believe. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and we hope to see you soon in FIC.
Right, so the first question is from Anshika Singhal. So her question is, do we need to have a basic knowledge of finance and investments for the interview? So basic knowledge is definitely a benefit to you, but it's not like a fixed prerequisite to it, because everyone is over here to learn, and the main idea is to teach you guys about everything. So the next is from Ryan. There is no JD round. The next one is from Varun. The recruitment process starts right now. You can scan the code and go to the application. So then it's from Tanvi. So Tanvi, the departments, traditionally FIC has 3 departments, which are the Organ CC wing, the research wing, and the PR and tech wing. Right, we'll update you on them when you join the society after you're selected to the society.
Yeah, the
And the next
recruitment process is common for all, so don't worry about that.
The next is from Komal. Yes, FIC only recruits freshers. Then the next is from Sia. Is there something technical we need to prepare for the interview? So if you do apply for the PR or tech wing, then you may need to fulfill a task to move forward in the process. Then the next is from Oshil. What is the intake of FIC? So the intake, I guess, last year was around 70 students in the beginning. The next is what is the deadline of the form? The forms will close on the 28th of December, 11:59 p.m. Then, yes, there will only be the application and interview stage for the recruitment. There would be no other stages. Unfortunately, we cannot join in the second year. As Parth mentioned that there is no prior preparation needed for the interview round. It's a purely conversational based interview, and we just need to see that how eager you guys are to join FIC. So usually, so I can't exactly tell you about this year as to how many students we'll recruit this year, but for our estimate, we recruited about 70 students last year. So the application is live now. You can scan this QR code or go to the website link mentioned above. The interviews will be conducted as soon as we're done with the application round. Definitely, if someone does not have a lot of knowledge about finance, they can definitely join FIC because we aim to actually make you learn about and educate you guys on the world of finance, investments, and many other facets. We do not have any such preference between BCom or e-commerce students. No, the application form is live now. You won't be getting them on your email IDs. And yeah.
Yes, you can just log on to ficsrtc.com and you'll find everything there. You can read also if you want and just go on to apply. You can apply for the society. It's live.
No, the passport size photo does not need to be formal. You can just upload a regular picture as well. The deadline for the application is 28th of December, 11:59 p.m. So the forms will count towards actually getting you to the second round of the process, which is the interviews. So are we required to give interviews in English only? So no, it's not mandatory to give the interviews in English. It can be in a language of your preference.
We have members from all over India. So even if you want to converse in your regional language, that's also perfect. We're cool with it.
Is the application round eliminative? So the application does count towards a certain degree of actually getting you to the second round of the process, which is the interview. So we would ask you to take it a bit seriously. We will definitely be doing something or the other to share either the presentation or the video recording of the orientation with you guys. The interviews will be, so we'll be updating you about the interviews as soon as quite after you're done with your applications.
Also for convenience, you can go on the Instagram page of FIC because the post is now out. So you can just click on the link, which will be in the bio. It will lead you to the application page.
No, the interview round would be the final round. There is no round after the interview round. So we'll definitely, so will the recordings of the orientation be provided to us? So we'll definitely look into getting you guys the presentation or the recording or something. So will it be part of one department or any of the departments? So it depends upon your interests. You can select them. How many students are you going to select? So we don't have a fixed number as of now. We'll evaluate the applications and after the interviews, but for an estimate, we selected about 70 students last year. So the forms is not, the forms will definitely, will there be an elimination based on forms? The forms will count towards a certain degree of your candidature. So you should take the forms a bit seriously.
Does being a part of competition organized by FIC help our application? Well, I'd be really honest, it doesn't make a lot of difference because when you guys participated, it was in a different capacity and now it's something different. But obviously, we'd already be knowing you and that's going to be nice to see you again.
Guys, we're not taking any GDs. There will be direct interviews. The only purpose of not taking GDs is that we believe that everyone does not possess equal amount of confidence or oratory skills, and thus it becomes extremely important to give everyone the equal opportunities. So please don't worry. The interviews will be very simple. As Parth said, they will be more of conversation. Even if you do not have a lot of financial knowledge, we just want to see if you're willing to learn. We are not just a finance society, we are also having domains of economics, geopolitics, business, and corporate world, right? So we are looking just for your willingness to learn and your ability to interact with others, to express yourself, to have strong opinions about things. That is what we need from you.
So then the question is, are FIC, Vitshala, and D Street the same? So no, FIC, Vitshala, and D Street are completely different societies. FIC is based on finance, economics, geopolitics, and other such topics.
I also received one or two texts from you guys that your peers couldn't attend because the maximum limit. So don't worry about that. We'll be uploading the recording of the orientation on our YouTube channel. So anyone who's missed, anyone who wants to revisit any part, they can just go and view. Just not an issue.
No questions seem to be coming in for the last 30 seconds. If you guys have any questions, please ask them. Don't hesitate. Otherwise, we'll end in a few seconds.
So can you explain the recruitment process again? So the recruitment process only has two stages, the application stage and the interview stage.
Is it a registered society? No, it is not a registered society. And does role model have to be from the finance world or can it be anyone that shaped our life? That's a doubt from the application form. It can be anyone. It doesn't have to be, as we've been repeating again and again, it's not a finance centric application of any sort. So it can be actually anyone. All questions, they should just be something what you want to tell us, nothing that you want to tell FIC. It's like you talking to someone, not exactly trying to get into FIC. Are the application forms eliminative? Well, in principle, the application forms are not eliminative, but in case we receive certain applications which are disrespectful in any manner or are extremely casual, I'm again repeating, extremely casual, like in of any sort, then we'll be eliminating the ones. So in a basic sense, the application forms are not eliminative, but if there's something wrong, then definitely we'll not be going ahead with the interview for that person. What is the ideal max number of societies one can join? Well, that's a personal choice. Within ourselves, within the FIC cabinet, there were people who were just in 2-3 societies. There were people who were in 10 societies. It's more of how much time you want to devote towards society work. And obviously, because if you have more societies, then it's more society work. It's a personal choice, and it also depends on your interests. If you have diverse interests, you want to get into more societies, that's up to you. So I myself was in 3 societies, and my friends were in around 5 to 6 societies, if that gives you an idea.
All right, I have received a question which says that what is the difference between a normal society and a registered society? So technically, in existence, there is no such difference. The registered societies and the other societies have the same working conditions. We have the same benefits as the registered societies do. There is no such difference. However, the only fact that they have is that they can only recruit after the election process, and they have to stand in election for their society positions. And that does not happen for other societies. So it is pretty same. It is pretty cool in registered and societies have the same functioning and the same benefits or whatever functioning grounds we have.
So we have a question. If we don't have very good communication skills, then we will not get selected here. No, that is not at all the case. As we had stated earlier, if you feel that you're not good at communication and you're good at either say research or say PR and tech work, then you can work there and we'll definitely select you for this even if you don't have excellent communication skills. Then the next question is, do we need to have any prior experience? So no such prior experience is required to be a part of FIC. The next question is, what kind of interview it will be? So the interview will be completely a conversation one where we'll ask you some general things and some other things that we decide on. And it's not a very tough interview or a very grilling interview. It's rather just a conversation between 2 people.
All right, guys, thank you for coming for the orientation of finance and investment cell. We again hope to see you guys again in the interview process. Thank you so much for coming today. You can contact any one of us on our personal WhatsApp or on any other mode. We are also available on our social media platforms, so please do not feel any restriction to not contact us. We will be ending the meeting now. Thank you so much for coming today. Hope to see you guys again. Thank you.